This is our PVC shoulder complex. If you do not have access to a 4 or 5 foot piece of wood, like a wood dowel, or a 5 foot long piece of 1 inch PVC tubing, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's and buy it for yourself. I think it's 10 bucks for a 10 foot piece. You can cut it in half. You've got 2 5-footers, one for you, one for a friend, one for a spouse, whoever. Your kids can hit each other with it. But this is a really great mobility tool that is incredibly easy to access, pretty light to carry. You can throw it in the trunk of your car. So our shoulder complex. Janelle's gonna grab that PVC in front, and she's gonna have her hands fairly wide on it. I'm gonna have her bring that, and go even wider for me with your hands. She's gonna bring her hands straight overhead, and when her hands come up, what we don't wanna see is her rib cage flaring. We wanna see the connection from her breastbone to her pelvis staying pretty consistent. And then this is a very easy movement. She's simply gonna pulse her hands back, right? We're not trying to go into a full dislocate. She's not trying to bring her hands wildly behind her. Her job is simply to notice where her shoulder wants to stop and gently push into that, almost getting comfortable with whatever that end range is. Don't judge yourself, don't judge other people by this one. Whatever you have is what you have. We're just trying to wake it up. We're trying to see where it is. Go ahead and bring the PVC back down. And now you're gonna bring your hands into hip width or shoulder width. Same thing, arms are gonna go back up. You're gonna keep your abdomen engaged so your rib cage doesn't flare up. And did you guys notice that Janelle lost some range of motion on this one? It's because we changed the angle at her shoulder, and her shoulder is a little bit sticky today, and that's absolutely fine. It doesn't need to be perfect. And most of us will actually lose range as we go through these 3 positions. So 1 was wide, 2 was a little bit narrower. The 3rd one is as narrow as we can get with the top of the hands together. Once again, rib cage is gonna stay tucked down, abs stay engaged, arms come up. And Janelle's pretty restricted on this one. If you can get further overhead than this, please take it, go to your end range. But note that even though Janelle is struggling at the shoulder, she's keeping a firm grip on the PVC. If she were to soften her hands or bend her elbows more, she'd go further. But it's not about how far we go. Go ahead and come on down. It's really just about feeling that engagement into the back of the shoulder. We've got 2 more positions here. Why don't you face me for these next 2? The PVC is gonna go behind your back, and you're gonna bring your hands out to mid-width. Great. A little bit of a bend in the knees, and you're gonna hinge forward. And just like every other time we hinge, whether we're thinking about this in a deadlift or the top part of a squat, we wanna see that that back is staying pretty neutral, right? Janelle's head is pointing forward, her tailbone is pointing straight back, her arms are straight, and she's just gonna give us little pulses pushing up to the ceiling. And again, the goal isn't even to try to stretch. It is about finding the end range. On any given day, it's an opportunity for you to see how your shoulders are doing. For me, this is one that generally makes my triceps cramp really, really hard. It is an opportunity simply to see how things are doing. Come on up. And then the last of these is simply flipping your hands around. So whatever grip you started with, go to the opposite grip. Knees soft, hinge forward. Again, Janelle's maintaining a really nice long spine, and hands are gonna pulse up. And Janelle's getting a little bit further on this position than the first one. It's really common for those two to be different, not a big deal. It's worth noting, and would we like to see this range of motion improve? Absolutely. And if you're doing this diligently, we would expect that to happen. Come on up. Thank you, Janelle. That is our PVC shoulder complex.